It started as a very simple game, but I wanted to add more, and more, and more. This is the story of Bubble Wrap, the most stressful anti-stress app ever. Publishing a game on Steam is pretty easy. You just need 3 things. $150, a game, and to figure out how to actually publish it. So, $150 is easy. YouTube ad revenue. The game? Yeah, that was a bit difficult. So, to start with, I had this Android app. It was called Bubble Wrap, very creative. And I published it on the Google Play Store. A bunch of people have downloaded it and left nice reviews, so thank you. I just need to adapt it to work on Steam and publish it. So to adapt it to work on desktop, I changed the whole UI. But I didn't just change the UI, I also made it so everything would adapt to when you change the screen size, but also if you change an option in the menus, it'll instantly apply, so like live updates. Before, it just waited till you close the menu, but now since the menu's on the side, you can't really wait, so there's all that sort of stuff. But then, I wasn't content with just that, so I added presets. Now presets lets you save all your settings into one thing, and then load them again. So okay, I have to have a button to add presets, then I need a button to delete presets, but then I need a button to select the presets to delete, and then a thing to confirm or cancel it. So that's just extra work there. And I wanted to make the game easy to use, because the problem was like you had to change all the settings, and maybe you just wanted to save everything, and just click that and get all the settings at once. So I added the Sheets feature. Now this lets you save a bubble, sound, background, and a bunch of other random settings all together to let you load at any point. So it's pretty much a preset. Now Sheets, that's an extra menu. You have to have a pop-up to put the name in, now you have to delete it, so you have all that extra code. You can see how it's getting out of hand. But I also wanted to add controller support, so now I have to make every menu work with a controller, which Unity has some components for that, but they're kind of garbage, so a lot of the code is actually just controller navigation work. But that had a benefit of also making keyboard navigation work, so you can now just control the game entirely with a keyboard or a controller. But controller, that means I have to have another menu, so there's a controller menu for the cursor speed and like vibration, like the rumble. And then I need to do all this testing to make sure everything works with a controller, which, spoilers, none of it actually did work. It took forever to get controllers working. But that's just all the game features. Now to work on the Steam features. So I added achievements. Now achievements, they sound really cool. Just reward you for popping a certain amount of bubbles. Now this is where we get to Steamworks. So Steam is the store. Steamworks is all the code for developers. So Steam, it's pretty easy to use. You just click the play button and you play. Steamworks, the developers were like, where should I put this button? And then made sure to put it in the exact opposite place you needed it to be. So just making anything work with Steamworks is an absolute pain.
For confidentiality reasons, I legally cannot show contents of the Steamworks pages. I signed an NDA, the contents of which is also confidential somehow. To avoid getting sued, I'm going to stick to describing what's publicly available in the documentation.
So to make an achievement, you just need to put the name, description, to make an achievement, you need to make it a statistic. So I made a bubbles popped statistic. And then in your code, you have to update that. And then I needed to redesign the stats menu in the game to house these achievements. Turns out when I play tested it, the achievements didn't work, so I had to debug that all, and it was a nightmare. Next level of difficulty, cloud saves. It's pretty much just Steam's documentation kind of sucks. Or maybe I just didn't read it properly. I didn't read it at all. The feature is kind of complicated to set up, but it's because I didn't really read the documentation. So this is just me yapping about something that's my fault. Okay, so we got statistics, achievements, cloud saves, works in desktop, we've got controller support, we've got ease of use with all these presets. But I wanted to add something even more. So I added mods. Now, it's a bubble wrap app. You just pop bubbles. Why do I need mods? That's a really good question, I don't know. I kind of just wanted to flex that I can program or something, I don't know. But to make a mod, I had to, recode everything in the game. Because Unity, it gives you an inspector and you just drag and drop things and it will load it in. But now I need to load them from your file system. So I need to disregard all the previous loading stuff I had and now load everything in the game from files on your computer. Yeah, and to make this work, I needed to make a whole file format for the mod. So it's just a JSON file. It has all these properties. And if you fill these in the correct way and don't mess up, it's really easy to mess up and the errors are really bad. So mods let you add custom sounds, bubbles, backgrounds, music. There's actually no way to choose which music plays, so the music kind is useless. It just gets added to the random track selection. And then also presets, so you can add custom sheets and custom bubble presets. You can make a mod, put it in this mods folder on your system, and it loads. That's great, right? But I wanted to add more, so I added Steam Workshop. Achievements, cloud saves, they're just inconvenient. Workshop is an actual infuriating nightmare. So, first step, upload mods to Steam Workshop. Okay, it took me a while to figure out why my code wasn't working. In fact, my code was working correctly. It was perfect. But there was a settings in the Steamworks admin dashboard webpage that didn't tick. So apparently, cloud saves are linked to uploading to the Steam Workshop. I had to increase the amount you can store in your cloud saves to be able to store things on the Steam Workshop. So in the end, I had like 50 empty mods because nothing was uploading. And the only reason I found out because of this was not because of the Steam documentation, but because of some random blog post. Okay, so that was a whole day trying to make mods upload. Now to make mods download. You can get all the mods a person subscribed to. That's pretty simple. But what if you want to unsubscribe? Well, the code's pretty simple for that, but I had to make a whole new menu for that. You can load a mod, it has a little card, then you can click the card, and then you can unsubscribe from the mod. Okay, we got all the features working. But to upload something to Steam, okay, this is how to upload something to Steam. So first, you make a depot. Actually, no, you need to make 3 depots. So a depot is pretty much where you put the files, and each depot is for a different version. So I have one for Windows, Mac, and Linux. Haven't actually tested Linux, hopefully it works. Okay, now you got your depots. Then you need to make a build. So you upload files for each depot. Then it makes a build. Then you need to publish the build. So you publish it to a branch. But then that won't work, because actually, you need to put that build into a package. Now, it doesn't actually tell you that you need to do this. So I'm like, why is my game not working? Why is it installing 0 files? That's because I didn't put it into a package. But then that won't just work. You need to go into your Steam, your store settings, and you need to say that it actually supports Windows, Mac, and Linux. And then, now that you've said it supported it, you need to put minimum requirements. Now you need to make with the launch options. So you make a launch option for Windows, you make a launch option for Mac, and you make a launch option for Linux. And now you can actually publish a game. And I'm even forgetting something. To upload the mods to Steam Workshop, I had to make a file explorer. Now you'd think this is really simple, but no, the first result on Google, it didn't work on Mac, so I changed it. Then it didn't work on Windows. So I have like 2 separate I have 3 separate file explorers. One's for the mobile versions. So I have a Windows file explorer, an Android and iOS file explorer, and a Mac and Linux file explorer. Now this was very annoying. I couldn't figure out for the life of me why it wasn't working. So I just downloaded all these random file explorers, trialed and errored until it actually worked. And now this is even factoring all the bugs. See, every time I change a feature, something else breaks. And the past 2 weeks, I've just been fixing bug after bug after bug. Oh yeah, I had to add a end-user license agreement for publishing to Steam Workshop. I had to be a lawyer for a day, and then a lawyer for another day, because I had to write a privacy policy, because Steam collects all this data. So I had to go like, no, I'm actually not using this to track you and sell ads. Yeah, so that took a day, writing a privacy policy. And then more on the legal stuff, I had to write credits. Now, just to be on the safe side of things, I added credits for all like the images, the sounds, all that basic stuff. But then also the fonts, the code I copied from. I have to copy paste all the licenses in full. So the credit screen is like this much of actual credit, this much of licenses, and then performance improvements. Oh. So before I was being really dumb and loaded every mod file at once. But then I had a really smart idea. See, instead of loading every image at the start, what if I load the images when I actually need them? So I did all this coding, changed like all the files in the code, to use this new thing. So it just stores the path to the file, then when you actually want to use the file, it'll actually load it then, instead of loading it at the start. So the game loads so much quicker now. Also optimize the storage. So here's a Unity tip. For some reason, if your textures are multiples of 4 in the width and height, the file size is so much smaller. So performance improvements, optimizations, bug fixes. Okay, you know what the longest thing was? The most time-consuming bit was the procrastination. She got so demotivated working on this. Just nothing seemed to work. That whole months were just, everything was broken, nothing was working. That was the hardest thing. But now I'm finally done. Well, done enough. And I can publish this game. All I need to do is fix the last couple bugs, submit the game to Steam, wait for them to review it, and then I can release it. This game is going to cost money, and that's mainly to recover my $150 spent on Steam, and then another $100 I spent on translations. Oh yeah, I translated the game. It's only going to cost like $3, but there's also going to be a free demo where you can have access to all the features, minus the mods, and just do whatever you want with a limit of 1,000 bubbles. So if you want to, go to Steam and check out Bubble Wrap. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.